What's up, Empire Builders? It is a sad episode today because it's almost tax season, and I want to talk to you about how you can save a little bit of money on your taxes. Now, first, a disclaimer. I am no accountant. I'm not a tax expert, and if you are watching this, then you need to understand that you need to take my advice with a grain of salt because this might not be the best way to do it for you. So I want to recommend you actually consult with someone who does taxes professionally, get their input and figure out what the best way is for you. I want to just shoot this because this is a question coming up in my community, and I want to make sure that I share with you exactly how I do it. And maybe if I'm not giving you specific tax advice, I can at least share a couple of really cool tools and ways that make this a lot easier. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have an actual business. You can go to LegalZoom and file documents, but make sure you have an actual business that you can pay taxes on. Because if you are just working with W-2 forms, so in America, that would mean just a contracted freelancer with each of your clients, you're going to pay a huge sum of taxes on that. It's like 30%, and you can't really write things off. So step number one is have an actual business that clients write a check to a business and not you. Now, why you're going to want to do this is because you'll have a company bank account. And with that company bank account, that's where you can write, have clients write you checks and keep your money in there. And then you can spend on things you need with that debit card. Because at the end of the year, things like gas, food, hotels, like again, I just shot an episode number 45 right before this one. I was talking about traffic and conversion, and I just had to spend a decent amount of money for hotels and food and just being down there for that event. But I can write all of that off in my taxes. So make sure you have an actual company and a bank account where you can spend money through to write it off at the end of the year, because you can write off your business expenses and not have to ultimately pay as much on your taxes. So that is the first two things. Now, the third thing that I would do is get some accounting software. There's a whole bunch of options, but I personally love FreshBooks, because with FreshBooks, not only can I invoice my clients, so I can send them an invoice for work to be completed, and they send me either a check back or pay right there online, which makes it really easy for them. It also tracks all of my expenses through that company credit card or the company debit card that I use. So then at the end of the year, now honestly, I should be doing this every month or at least every quarter, but I get a little lazy and I'll have to go through anything that didn't get categorized automatically, I have to put into a category. Now, fortunately, it's usually pretty smart. Most of the transactions, I'd say maybe 60 to 70%, it will categorize for you, which is really, really helpful. But what I then do is I spend about probably 3 hours it takes me, and depending on how much you're earning and how much you spend, it might take you a little longer or a little less. But I have to go through and then manually categorize each of my expenses throughout the year. So again, if it was hotels tonight or the Marriott, I'd categorize that to hotels and accommodations. There's even categories for entertainment. I mean, it's absolutely insane, but rappers can write off making it rain as like throwing money in the air as an entertainment expense. So if they can write off that in their taxes, you need to be able to write off those lunches you take out or any accommodations or events or even courses you pay for. So my membership community, the Laptop Empire Lab, you can write off the cost of that in your taxes because it's a training tool or a resource or software. So there's all these different categories and you can put these in there. Now, again, I'm not a tax expert, so here is where I kind of give the reins over to someone else. Now, I have a guy here in Southern California. More than happy to give you his information if you're interested. Just comment below and I'll get in touch with you personally over direct message, get you his information. But I pay him about $550 to do my business taxes, and another $150 to do my personal taxes. So it's $700 total. And all he needs from me is my profit and loss statement sheet. So what happens is in FreshBooks, after you've categorized all your expenses for the year, you can go into the forms, or there's a reports area. You can pick the year. So I would pick June 1st, 2017 to December 31st, 2017, and I would just get the profit and loss statements for that. I print it out or just send it to him in a PDF, and then we're good. Now, if you've got subcontractors working for you, there might be some W-2s involved, and you might need to have them fill out forms and then make sure you're writing off and saying exactly in your taxes, in your profit and loss statement, checks or anything that you use to pay a subcontractor, because they'll have to ultimately pay taxes on that. Like if you got a $20,000 website and you split it between two people, but the money came through your account, you don't want to have to pay taxes on the whole $20,000. You only want to pay the taxes on your $10,000. So just make sure any money that came to your business that you paid out, you have that accounted for as well. And again, talk to your tax professional about this. I just, again, wanted to shoot this episode to kind of walk you through exactly how I do it. And again, doing it this way will save you a lot of money if you're a freelancer. If you have to pay 30% on your taxes and you're not making that much per year, that's pretty brutal. So have a business, make sure you're spending money through the company account, have it attached to some software like FreshBooks. Only costs you $20 a month. That way you can invoice clients, collect money, do your taxes and accounting all through there. Send it to a professional at the end of the year, and don't be afraid to pay for it. If someone's only saying I'll do it for $50 or $100, like be wary, like be willing to pay a little extra for someone who's really, really good, because they'll help you pay less in taxes and they'll make sure that it's done right the first time so you don't ultimately get audited by the IRS. And if you earning less than 6 figures a year, chances are that's not going to happen anyways, and you can honestly write off most of your expenses doing this. So just make sure you got a good tax guy, don't break any laws, and don't take my advice for gospel. This is just what I do, and I recommend you do something similar, but consult with an expert just to be sure. So either way, guys, I know this isn't a sexy topic or a very fun thing to talk about, but it's important because at the end of the year, you want to make sure that everything's in line and the government isn't going to come take more of your money or shut down your business. So I hope this has been helpful. We'll get back to more exciting, fun things in the next episode. So until then, we'll chat very soon. My name is Brian Downard. This has been Laptop Empires episode number 46, and I'll see you in the next one.